All right, so just got a new package here. We are opening up some new lapel mics, so I'm gonna be excited about this one. Time downloads 10,536. Holy shit, that's kind of crazy to say out loud. Has anything popped off recently in the Telegram?
Well, I meant that in the sense of like, is there anybody on there that we could bring on that seems good? Is there anything we want to do? Do we want to play in a community call? I just meant that as general stuff.
You know what I was thinking might be a good topic too is hiring. Maybe have one other person on that has a bigger team like Brad Bolt or something.
I was just going to say, Brad, we haven't had him in a while.
Even if it's like the basics of hiring, how to find somebody from start to finish, you know?
Yeah.
What I like to do in these scenarios is whenever someone reaches out to me, especially a contractor, there's a bunch of different types of work they could be doing. Last thing I want to do is overwhelm the underwriter, not send a full submission. So I'll actually reach out to the underwriter and in this specific cases, just ask them, hey, this is the type of risk I have. What do you think the minimum premium is for this type of risk? I confirm they don't have any losses. This is the type of work they do. This is their estimated sales. So before I go ahead and send a half-ass submission, I just reach out to the underwriter and ask them, hey, do you think this is something A, you would even want to look at? And B, just let me know what the minimum premium is. I can go to the insured. If the insured says, oh yeah, $45,000 a year, I'm cool with that. Then I can go through the supplemental and the loss runs and all that stuff. Hey, Maureen, how you doing? I wanted to ask you a question only because this came up with one of the mentors I was talking to. The bigger agents at Utica National, do they write in multiple states? Because I have licenses in a few other states, and I was just curious like how competitive they are commercial lines wise. For instance, I hired a remote employee in Georgia, and I saw that Utica writes in Georgia. So I was just curious. I was like, oh, I wonder if they have a competitive personal lines product and commercial there, or is personal still the same in other states where they they're not trying to grow, you know? Just curious. All right, so we got the new lapel mics. We're doing the Hollyland. These were about a quarter the price of as the Move 2 Shure mics, which were really freaking cool looking. They almost got me, and they were hitting me with targeted ads. It was a good one. This has the magnetic clips. Got two of them. It connects directly to the phone, directly to your camera, which is awesome. So some of the audio in the first episode was a little shoddy. And one of the things I respect about Mr. Beast, he came out with this video, and we're talking to new people on YouTube and just people who are creating video. And one of the things he said is, if you have a goal to make a bunch of videos, what I would recommend is, what is one thing you can do better on the next video? That's something I'm trying to do in this scenario. So I love what he said, and I'm just trying to apply the processes. I think we need to stick to each video, one thing we can do better. Because I went through my first one, I'm like, there's 89 different things I can do better. And it's overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, but I think the one thing for me too, like you were gonna say, and maybe we'll talk about it, is like how long my stationary talking shots are.
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing. You know, because do you lose interest there?
The only thing I can think of is like how I would probably do that is like, okay, so I'm talking about like this one, I'm talking about like our market and like what I'm doing with like our carriers. So like I would almost think of it as like I do a few shots of me talking, say like here,
yeah,
and then I grab it
and start walking
finish
around.
The sentence over here.
Yeah, or start walking around with it or something.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody come in and take it, or it's.
No, just the only reason that if there is, God forbid, there is a fire and the place burns around.
All right, so what I can do, I'll make a note, because sometimes what the carrier can do is if you have business personal property that you own but is not, someone can't come in and steal it, like a walk-in refrigerator and stuff like that, they might be able to classify it under a separate line of coverage, whether it's improvements and betterments or under building coverage, and it's cheaper than business personal property because it can't be stolen. So it's like less of a risk to the insurance carrier. Also keep in mind two other coverages that I would say happen more frequently than anything else. EPLI coverage, that's employment practices liability. So it would be wrongful termination, sexual harassment, whenever you add that coverage, though, they usually do have a larger deductible. You know, it's usually at least a $5,000 deductible. All right, so about to hop on a phone call with Juan Lopez, who is our creative director for all of our LinkedIn content. And one of the things we're making sure to go over on every call now is our numbers, deep diving into our numbers, specifically impressions and interactions. And a mentor of mine recently told me, and it's something I've struggled with in the past, is knowing your numbers, right? And what he told me, and it is a very simple statement, but really hit hard, is professionals know their numbers. So I'm excited to get on this call with Juan, dive into our numbers, and see what we got going on. Juan, what's happening, sir?
How's it going, sir? You were closing a new home for yourself?
Yes, yesterday. So yesterday was a wild day.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I wish they figured out a way not to make such a beautiful moment in life be so stressful, but...
You got 5 new posts that I sent you.
Okay.
And I was looking at the Loom, and I saw that you filmed the 2 new videos, but they need to be edited, right, for the previous posts that you had approved.
Yes,
okay.
yes. Oh yeah, about that. All right, I gotta put that. I gotta put that on my. You know what I'm gonna do?
I really like the storytelling aspect of it. Like, you know, really going from scratch to a million.
Yeah.
Like I think it's and you'll notice you read the posts, but I linked that to your core value of radical transparency.
Okay.
So you know it all kind of comes together in a storytelling way.
I saw that one. Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Happy Thursday, happy Halloween. Just wanted to hop on here and let you know something I learned over the last couple of months, honestly, and that's being very intentional the night prior, scheduling my day. And, you know, this could be something as simple as just having a discussion with my wife and asking her, hey, what's the plan tomorrow with the kids? Am I dropping them off? Are you dropping them off? Am I picking them up? Like, what's the deal with that? And just being very intentional about that, because I can't tell you how many times I would forget, and then I would wake up in the morning and I'd see my wife getting ready for work, and I'd be like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I'm going to the city today. And then all of a sudden I realize, crap, I got to drop the kids off, and it becomes a chaotic morning, and that just pours into the rest of the day. So, you know, something I do is I use Google Calendar. I just look over my calendar the night before on my phone. I go through all my meetings, I look at everything, I get kind of familiar with what the day is gonna look like. And then from there, it just sets me up to win in the morning. So you wanna win that battle in the morning, make sure you review your calendar and your schedule, have a discussion with your wife the night prior. Also too, I wanted to mention with the calendar, when I review my calendar, besides looking over all my work stuff, I do put on my calendar my personal stuff as well. So what time am I going to read? What time am I going to the gym? I put in those daily non-negotiables. But yeah, put your daily non-negotiables and your personal stuff in your calendar. Even drop off and pick up of kids, you know, dinner, all that stuff I put in my calendar.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a deal. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll still be winning.
You know, somebody asked me earlier today, and it's come up a few times, how do you consistently get up early in the morning? And I always revert the question back to them and just simply ask, what time do you go to bed? For me, I'm in bed by the latest 9 o'clock every night. I'm sleeping by 9 o'clock so I can get up at 3:45, 4 o'clock. I get my 7 hours of sleep Monday through Friday. All right, so last week we spoke about cold calling and how that helped generate some new business for us. This week, I wanted to touch on something that's also worked for us. It didn't used to work in the past, but now since we made some big changes, and that is being intentional on social media, going after a specific industry you want to go after. If you go to our LinkedIn or my Instagram page, you'll see bar or restaurant specialist in New York. It's very specific to a certain industry. And one of the reasons why it took me so long to do that is because my belief was if I do that, I'm not going to get other business I want. I'm not going to be able to write contractors. No one's going to reach out to me. I'm not going to be able to write coastal homeowners. So what I found out is when I spoke to a consultant of mine, he actually did consulting and marketing for mortgage lenders specifically. And the first thing he told me is, hey, Shawn, that is not accurate. What is actually going to happen is people from other industries are still going to reach out to you because they're going to see you're such an expert and they're going to want to work with you. He had realtors reach out to him. He had insurance agents reach out to him. He had financial advisors reach out to him for help with marketing. So don't think that if you niche and make your bio and your about me just like specific to one industry that you're not going to get other business. You will. So one of the most profound thing that I found is once I did that, people just assume that you are an expert in that specific niche. It's a wild thing, but if you take the time to create a very specific bio and about me on your social media pages and people read that and it's compelling and you come off confident, they're going to believe you're an expert. I'm not saying to create one that you're not an expert in, but that's just the power of social media. So if you're not niching on something on social media, it's something I would highly recommend. Could that just be in a note? 100%. But where we come into like an E&O issue is I advised him on a few coverages he doesn't have. And this is acceptable by E&O. Like if there were to be an E&O claim and he has an EPLI and he says, oh, well, Shawn never recommended it to me. I could actually pull this up and use it in court to say it's time, because with the activity, it's time stamped and date stamped. See it here? With the notes, you can go in and edit them and change them and delete them. And so it's not time stamped or anything. So
Gotcha. Okay.
that's why we had to use activity. Your electrician out east in the Hamptons that does like all high-end homes, and they had auto with State Farm. Okay. But they have a few accidents and they have an open claim and it's not something that they want to switch. So the auto, we had to leave with State Farm, but we took all the other lines, you know. I have one account, I think it's like 106,000, one policy. Wow. Yeah, so we have some stuff with them. I found that is what I find to be expensive on the commercial auto, but I feel like that's how it has to be for it to be profitable in New York, you know? So I don't knock them for that, and I try to sell it as much as I can, you know?
All right, happy Friday, getting ready for the weekend. Gonna hit the gym real quick and wanted to discuss something from last week that we spoke about, talking about the vision, talking about, you know, the first vlog I was doing and how we're talking about creating a vision of going from 0 to 1 million for a scratch agency, right? And all that's cool. But I think what's super important that I forgot to mention is that it's also important to take the vision from me to we, meaning it's great that my agency is going to grow from 0 to 1 million and plus, but what does that mean for my team members? How can I get them involved? I think it's important, and it's something I made a mistake on in the beginning, but I am getting better at now, is how do I incorporate each team member into that vision to get them excited about the vision as well?
Probably around like 10, 11, 12. I clearly remember taking a shovel when it was snowing outside and knocking on doors around the area and just, hey, I'll shovel your driveway for $10. And I always had a goal, get 10 houses, you know, make $100.
Something we didn't have in Manhattan.
Yes, exactly. So lots of driveways to shovel. In the fall, I would rake leaves and bag leaves and do all that stuff. But to answer your question, I always saw my mother, I was raised by a single mother, and I always saw her work 2 jobs. And I would have to get myself up for school. Luckily, I was close enough where I could actually walk to school every day at the time. And then when I'd come home, she would come home after me. And I just saw she never like talked about the importance of working hard or effort or things of that nature. But because I saw her do it, I think that kind of lit a fire under me, you know?
But I believe that this is the root of Keep Hustling, is that the greatest influence that our parents or those that raise us have on us are the influences that they don't necessarily intend to have.
All right, so 2 major things I need to do by the end of the day. One of those is finish this big ass water in the next hour and 15 minutes. And the second thing is call back a few clients. So I'm going to get to work on that now. I was just giving you a call back. I saw we had a call scheduled for today. I had a little time open up earlier today, so I hope I got you at an okay time. We're no longer writing with on Long Island. A lot of carriers have backed out of the market downstate New York. We have a bunch of other markets we can shop you around with and remarket your account to see if we could find a better fit for you. So we should have all those updated numbers by the latest, I would say, next Wednesday. Once we give you the quote, we could literally have everything set up the same day. It takes less than 15 minutes. It's a really simple process.
Okay, yeah, no, that would be great. I appreciate that, Shawn.
Perfect. Once I have everything put together, I'll shoot it over to you and give you a call, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. Have a good weekend. I'll speak to you soon.